sides, all right? So I'm here. Now, you can set up chokes, right, from the back here, all right? But I find it's a lot harder because my elbow is kind of pinned by the mat. I don't have a lot of space to bring this elbow back, which makes it harder to dig underneath the chin. You know, where I do most of my chokes from the choking side is like I just took the back and his chin was open, all right? And I'm able to kind of shove my hand underneath right away and start spider walking, all right? And then feed the choke right away. If I get to the back and he's doing all the right stuff, he's hand fighting me, he's tucking his chin, he's looking away from my arm, right? The chance of getting a choke here, not impossible, but harder, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my top hook here, and I'm gonna really engage my heel into the bottom of his hamstring, right? I wanna make sure I'm not just like putting my foot here, I'm like actively like flexing my leg as I suck that heel in. I'm gonna drop my bottom hook, right, and put my toes on the mat and push. And as soon as I drop my hook, I can't just sit here, right, because he's gonna turn his back flat. So I'm gonna drop my toes, flare this knee out, and then I'm gonna stretch and pull and roll all at the same time. So I'm gonna drop, flare, stretch, and pull, and I'm gonna roll it to the other side. All right, now right away here, I'm gonna see how my knee is clamping on his hip. I'm just gonna slide up and put my foot on his hip. Now I can use this to set him a little bit lower and get my bottom leg across his hip. Right? I always want to try to get my bottom leg, no matter which side of the back I have control on, I want the bottom hook trying to go across his abdomen. Right? If I can lock a body triangle, awesome. That's obviously the best case scenario. Not everybody can do that. Right? So what you can do is if you're having a hard time getting this leg across, take that top hook, scoop it, and pull it across, all right? The flexibility of your hip doesn't stop just from like how far you can manually put it, all right? I can pull this foot up pretty high, all right? But my natural flexibility ends about right here, all right? Now I've adjusted, and I can even go higher, all right? But house of space is in my way. So if you're having a hard time, scoop it, right? Don't reach down and pull, right? Because now you're extending your arm and giving him space to hook his, or free his head, right? So I'm here. I want to make sure my head is on the inside between him and the mat. Now I'm going to take my top hand and I'm going to attack the top wrist, all right? And I'm going to punch that down and I'm going to go 2-on-1. Now I know he's going to address that with his free hand. So when he does, I'm going to let go with my top hand and attack the top wrist. Easiest way is if he's grabbing my hand, bring my hand back, go over the top. I'm gonna pull this towards me, all right? Like I'm doing a straight jacket. That's exactly what we're doing. I'm gonna straight jacket and punch this arm down. I'm gonna flex my toes to the ceiling. I'm gonna swing my heel up and over, all right? Almost like I'm trying to heel kick him in the abdomen, all right? Once I feel my heel on the inside of his forearm, I'm gonna use the heel to drag it out of my grip. What I don't wanna do is put my foot in, let go, and start dragging because he can get his hand free, right? So I make sure I maintain control until I can drag it out. Now, you have two options here. I can bury this foot behind his back, or I can just relock, like almost like crossing my ankles, but as long as they're above his waist, all right, he's not going to be able to get the straight ankle lock or like that weird little ankle lock that we know not to do. All right, don't cross your legs from the back. That's fine to cross your ankles from the back as long as your feet are above the hips. All right. So now that I'm here, all right, I just dragged that out of my grip. Now I already have the top wrist. All right, I'm going to slide underneath my own forearm and I'm going to grab the meat of his hand. I grab the meat of the hand, right, that whole blade, using all 4 fingers. Because if he tries to extend his arm to get his hand free, go ahead, House. He can't. He's almost like wrist locking himself. Whereas if I'm just grabbing the wrist and he straightens that arm out, all right, kind of hurts my wrist. And if he does it quickly, all right, it's going to pop that grip. So we grab the meat of the hand. If he tries to do it quick, he's probably going to wrist lock himself. All right? So once we're here, all right, we're gonna go over 2 options as to how to get the choke. And we're gonna drill this, guys, for like 15 minutes. So I know it's a lot of steps. It was last night as well. But we're gonna drill for a long time. He's gonna tuck his chin like a good, almost brown belt. All right? I'm gonna take my thumb, make like a detonator hand, and I'm gonna dig my thumb from the back of his neckline, like behind his ear, and I'm gonna slide it in, right? And as I slide, I'm gonna be corkscrewing. So these two knuckles are gonna be scooping up across that jawline, lifting his chin up, right? I know, House, I'm sorry. All right? I'm gonna corkscrew it all the way, all right? See how I'm trying to get my elbow in line with his chin. I still have his hand the whole time. Once I'm here, I'm gonna cup the back of his shoulder, okay? Now, I'm gonna suck my elbow back. So now I'm propped up on my elbow. I'm gonna make a blade with my hand and stack my hands. And as I drop onto this shoulder, I'm gonna punch this hand all the way behind his head. Here. I keep feeding so that I can grab my bicep. All right, last step is I'm gonna cover everything with my chin. All right, because if I leave this here, he has one free hand, he might be able to reach back and pop the arm off. But if I cover it with my chin, go ahead, House. Nothing to grab. So now all I do here is pinch my elbows and pull back into me. Dig the heel in. Drop my toes to the mat, flare, stretch, pull, and roll. Slide my knee up, off his rib cage, step on the hip. If I can just naturally get my leg right across, awesome. If not, scoop and pull. If you can do a body triangle comfortably, please feel free to do so. All right, I'll do the body triangle for this one. Top hand retracts, finds the top wrist, pushes down, passes it off to my other hand, to my bottom hand. All right, I hold, knowing he's gonna react and start attacking to try to free his grip. Hand comes back, top wrist, or top hand to bottom wrist, and I pull. So I'm pulling his arms across his body. My head the whole time on the inside, like a pillow for him. I'm going to punch this down towards his abdomen, all right? Step my heel in, drag the grip, or the hand out of my grip with my heel. I can cross on the hip, or I can bury this behind his back, and as long as I can keep this leg across his waistline. That's a little hard for me right now, right? So I'm just gonna cross at his hip. This is totally fine, right? Neither one is better than the other. It's more what you feel more comfortable doing. Once I'm here, punch down, come underneath my own wrist, grab the meat of his hand, right? I can grab like at the knuckles too. This is a legal grip. I can grab 4 fingers. If I grab 3 or I grab the thumb, illegal. This is legal. Punch it down. Right? If we don't like doing the corkscrew and digging my knuckle under, that's fine. I'm gonna smother him. Calm, cover his mouth, and I'm gonna pull up and away. Right? Almost like a neck crank. So when I pull up and away, it's gonna open up his neck a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit mean here, and I'm gonna punch this arm underneath his neck. Capture the back and spider walk my hand back, trying to grab his shoulder blade so that my elbow is in line with his chin. All right, once I'm here, I can retract and get up to my elbow. All right, stack my hands. The free hand that's not choking him is gonna stack on top. I'm gonna slide, drop, and dig. All right, so I'm digging this hand behind his head, the back of my hand, not cupping. All right, if I cup, it kind of opens up my grip a little bit, makes it harder to actually get the squeeze, as opposed to using the back of my hand, right? Like I'm shaving the back of his head. Gripping my bicep, cover it with my chin, pinch my elbows, and pull back to me. Cam. One last time, then we're gonna drill for 10-15 minutes. I'm gonna do this one a lot faster, guys, without any instructions. You guys can see like the flow of it. Corkscrew. All right, get that hand behind as far as I can. Or he tucks his chin. I don't feel like being that mean, so from the cover, pull, and punch it in. Build up to my elbow. And get my squeeze. You can edit the tapping part.
Yeah.
Edit the tapping part. Do we have any questions on that? No questions? Sweet. I taught string jacket a couple times, so it should be familiar to pretty much everybody that's been training here for the last maybe 6 months or so. Do both options just so you have them in your toolbox to use. The last like 5 minutes, if you just prefer to do one, feel free to just do the same sequence, whether you're digging or cupping and pulling. Right? When you do cup and pull, please don't reef on their neck. Alright? Just remember, if you do it to them, they're going to be drilling right after you. So they're going to do it right back. Sound good? Alright guys, 3, 2, 1.